Alright guys, welcome back. Today we are going to be working on the Pro screen here. We're going to be tuning it up a little bit, doing a few tweaks to it, and then we're going to run a few yards through it and see how long it takes so we can get some baseline numbers on how long it takes to screen a certain amount of dirt and what exactly we can run through this, because we've got a bunch of sod chunks in some of the dirt and stuff like that we've taken off job sites. It'd be really cool to be able to restore some of that. So we ran it a little bit before, and what we found out is the sod chunks want to get caught in this thing here, these guys. So what I'm doing is breaking these loose here. They were pretty easy. The guy that had this before me kept these really well greased and everything, so he did a good job with that. But we're just gonna lift them up and then move these guys down so they sit in place like that. Then the next thing we're gonna do is this entire flap in here, if you can see it, is on a spring. We're gonna pull this guy back a little bit and hook a chain through these loops and then probably hook that to this guy here. So that is what is on the agenda, and then we're gonna run some dirt through this thing and see what's what. Alright guys, we're down below now. We've got it all set up. I put some gas in it, so that should be ready to go. The only thing I'm concerned about now is that it did rain like all day yesterday. So there is some dry stuff in here, but just about everything on the top is soaked. You can see the mud everywhere. Kind of a mess there, so I'm worried it's going to get caught in here and just smear, because I'd imagine black dirt that's wet doesn't screen so well. So we're gonna get this thing started up anyways, give it a try. You know, what's the worst that could happen? So we're gonna give her some gas and look at that first pull. She hasn't been started since Monday. It's Sunday now, so put our flap gear down and pretty straightforward. We'll let her warm up a bit and then we'll start throwing some dirt at her. See what happens, I guess. I don't know what's gonna happen, but we'll see what happens. We'll set you guys down on the truck here. Alright, so it's actually working really well. Gotta grease it here, kind of forgot to do that. So we're gonna get that out, we're gonna grease it, but we'll walk over here and look at the dirt we got. There's the scraps coming out of it. Looks like we'll probably let this sit a bit and rescreen it again later once this decomposes a little more. I don't know. I'm new to this, I don't really know. But here's the dirt here. I mean, it's, you know, it's all pretty good dirt. We could screen it again. There's a few rock chunks in here. Probably screen it one more time and get it a little bit finer. But I'm thinking I'm gonna let it sit, let some of these grass stragglers from the sod chunks decompose a bit, and screen it again at a later date. This pile here is a little bit better black dirt. This is a little more of a compost. A lot of it was wood chips from a couple crabapple trees and stuff like that that we chipped up. And that's kind of what started this whole thing, was chipping those two trees. We had like 2 dump truck fulls of wood chips, and I was like, well, God, this stuff could compost over time, you know, whatever. So that's what that is, and it's like a junk mulch pile too. There's a little bit of mulch in it, but we're gonna screen a lot of this stuff and see what happens. I'm gonna grease this thing and keep going here. It's actually going pretty quickly. I started at 9:30 exactly. It's 9:46 now, plus walking over there to get the greaser and shutting down to kind of clean it out and get the grease before I go too far, because I could hear one of these squeaking a bit, which I don't think the guy greased it before he sold it to me, and it was sitting for the last 2 years, he said, so I should grease that. I forgot to do it when I was up at the shop, or the grease gun was down here rather. So I'm gonna grease it quick and we're gonna get back to it. It's actually working pretty slick. It was, now that we've adjusted those things, the dirt can kind of flow through it a little more freely. It's working a lot better than what it had. It did clog once. That's partially because what I'm finding is it's easier. It works better if you try to dump the dirt off this one instead of dumping it on this one, because the angle on that's better. It'll kind of slide off that one right onto the screen. Whereas if you dump it on that one, it wants to just stay on that because it's not as steep or something, I don't know. So the key is to go past it, try to dump where you'd think the screen is, but that board there catches you and pulls you back. So only one clog, and I was going pretty fast on that one. I dumped like half the bucket at once and I was dumping further back, so. Danger. So I'm gonna grease that and let's get back to it. Alright guys, so that's gonna be about it for screening today. I'm just gonna kind of clean up everything here. This stuff's getting so thick. We took this out of a job site down the road. I knew it wasn't good black dirt when we got it. It wasn't anything of huge potential. It had so many roots and stuff. I mean, what's getting stuck in here, there's a couple of times it got clogged, was these huge root balls here you see of these daylilies and stuff. So I'm surprised a lot of this stuff's going through it. If these root balls weren't in here with the daylilies and there wasn't as many roots, I mean, this stuff goes through just about as fast as you can feed it to it with this loader. So I'm pretty impressed with it actually. It's working really good so far. That first pile of stuff I had here, which gave me the better black dirt over there, that stuff had a lot of grass chunks in it, and it was those really big chunks of grass like you can see right here that were getting clogged in there. But that happened once or twice, and then it being so wet definitely didn't help. The drier the dirt, which this stuff is, the faster it goes through here. So definitely a key thing to remember, I guess, for me is to make sure it's dry when you do it. Obviously today's not an ideal day to do it. The other thing I noticed is this thing is rattling here on this hinge or something, and it's making a bunch of noise. Looks like somebody made an attempt to stop it, but you can hear that metallic rattling. I think I'm gonna put a bolt down right here or something to tighten that up, just because I was standing over here when I stepped to grab the shovel. I stood right here and I was like, holy crap, that quieted it down a lot. A lot of the noise is just that piece right there rattling on it. So I want to make this thing as quiet as possible, trying not to make a lot of noise with it. The case is perfect, I guess, because it's one of the quieter machines on the market there, so that's good for that. But here we're gonna take a look at the dirt pile. It's nothing, I mean, the dirt that was here wasn't crazy good black dirt in the first place. It screened it out pretty good. This stuff needs some time to kind of sit and compost, I think. I mean, it's not bad, but you know, it's not like the best dirt in the world. Obviously, I think once this grass pieces start to compost more, it'll make it a lot better. This stuff's gonna be a lot better black dirt, but with all this like gravelly chunks in it, I think those will go through the screen. So what I might have to do, I've also got a 1/4 inch screen over there. I might have to put that on and run through this stuff a second time with it. But it's actually, I'm surprised with how quick it screens it, because the first time I ran it, it barely would screen, you know. It wouldn't screen that barely at all because it was starting to get chunked up in there and stuck in it. So really impressed with it actually. I'm super happy adjusting those few little things made it work way better for what we're screening. So yeah, I'm gonna run a bolt into this guy or something to help quiet it up, or put some glue or silicone underneath here give a rubber padding area, and I'm gonna clean this mess up down here. Kind of put all our stuff into one. This stuff here, I ran through it. This is just some fill and some gravel and stuff. We've got it here in case we need some fill. I ran it through here. I mean, it's really sandy, but I mean, it's got some black dirt material in there. I mean, obviously it's not any type of dirt you'd want to use other than, I don't know what you could use it for. I don't know. So, but we got it here. I just figured, well, I'll try screening it and that stuff, because there's like, you know, I'm sure that right there is going to be an issue, but literally this pile, I could just dump a whole bucket in there, come back, grab another bucket, dump the bucket, come back, and just cycle through that pile. That wouldn't take no time at all. One of the biggest headaches in which I've seen is that they make stands for these things so they can sit up higher, so you can get more fill in here before you have to clean it out, which is one thing I noticed. I've been kind of cleaning it out right when it gets to the point of hitting these guys here. I obviously don't want to get as little dirt as possible on those. So here's some of the dirt here. I mean, it's not terrible black dirt. It's got a lot of sand in it, which isn't bad. I'm sure it would be good drainage. Like the sod, I'm sure would love this dirt. This would be perfect for some sod. And we might actually use this pile tomorrow for a little bit of dirt for some sod work, because that's kind of what's in it, is some chunks of, not chunks of sod, but little of those grass blades and stuff like that. So I wouldn't want to put it in a planting bed yet. I'd want it to let it decompose and, you know, kind of rot away anything that's gonna want to have potential to grow in your planting beds. But sod, I think this is actually going to be really good, because it's sandy enough where it's going to drain good. It's not just going to clump up, but it's still got good nutrients in it and good some good black dirt material in there. So hoping it all works out well. There's the aftermath. And this stuff, I think I'm going to throw in a pile. I'm going to kind of push up this whole pile, because like I was saying, it's getting pretty chunky. I'm going to push it all in a pile here and just kind of let it sit over time. Hopefully it decomposes. I don't really know how this stuff decomposes, if it does at all. These like daylily root balls and stuff, I don't know what happens to that. I'm sure it'll decompose over time, or if it's anything that could ever be used for dirt, I don't know. So we've just got a little couple little piles to play with and see what's what. Case is working excellent. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to hit that subscribe button to see more. I'm gonna be playing around with this dirt screen a lot, and if you guys want to see more of our landscaping videos, snow plowing, stuff like that, check out the channel, and feel free to watch any of those. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time.